Nope. Okay, there we go. Okay, so let's see here. The Price Scalper is an indicator that takes advantage of small price movements by combining aspects of both price action and order flow trading. And this indicator is designed to help traders make a better decision by providing more information about the markets, right? Because at the end of the day, we're traders, right? We got a lot going on in our plates, and we do rely on indicators to help us, find trades. There's so many different ways to trade the market. So, where am I here? Order flow and price action, right? They're both different ways to look at the market. People will say, everything about price, everything about the market is reflected in price, whereas order flow, really, you're paying attention to what's happening, the way the market's reacting to price and how it's trading. So they sort of go hand in hand. And, for a long time, I've been working on tools to sort of incorporate some price action activities into order flow analysis. And while there's not one single tool that said, oh, you could buy this, it's going to change your life, you could just go out and take a second mortgage on your house, start trading. No, it's not like that. Trading is still a decision-based form of analysis, and you still want to be able to make some trading decisions. I could have made the Price Scalper more black boxy and add in all sorts of filters and stuff like that, so that you wouldn't have to do any of that analysis. But people use different forms of analysis when they approach the markets, right? So if you're looking, some people don't use an HMA, a whole moving average. Maybe they want to use a WMA to filter out trades. So you have that ability. Okay. Now I like to use order flow together with the Price Scalper. I'm always looking for reasons to take trades based on the order flow, and when I have things that are backed up by price action with a little bit of order flow put in, to me, those are great trading opportunities. And you can see here on this chart, right, we have a bullish prominent point of control. Let me get something here so you can see it a little bit better. My laser pointer, right? We got a bullish point of control. So if you use order flow, right, if you use the order flows trader software and you're using tool Price Scalper, right, you just wait for the bullish order flow be confirmed with the Price Scalper. And I'm going to take you sort of through it in a second. I'm just going through a couple of examples here. You can also use Price Scalper on a normal bar chart. Now, there's different ways you could display Price Scalper, right? One, I always like to have it, on the chart itself, or you could also add it at the bottom, right? So these little ticks up mean, it's bullish. The red ticks down are bearish signals. So bullish signal, bearish signal. But you don't have to have this part here on your chart. It could just look like a normal bar chart without that. But if you're looking at something like a footprint chart, you got a lot of information. Just having that little extra line on the bottom removes all doubt, because sometimes, the little triangle, it may print there, you may miss it. Sometimes when you have something big like this on the bottom, it's just right there, right in your face, that, you just can't miss it, okay? Lord knows I've missed signals sometimes just because I'm looking at the chart and I just missed that little thing there. Simple, really schoolboy error, but sometimes that stuff happens. This was the other day on E-minis. It was Monday, right at the cash open, bullish signal, a couple bearish signals that didn't work out. A bullish signal, again, didn't really work out. Then you got a nice bullish signal here and here, okay? And having this on the bottom, having this plot on the bottom, again, it's just an extra way to tell you, hey, you know what, I've got a bullish signal, I've got a bearish signal, because when you're looking at multiple markets, you got a big screen. Nowadays we've all got these big screens, or we've got these very wide screens. You got different charts open. Having that extra thing on the bottom is, helps you as a trader see those trades. Now, to install Price Scalper, right, it's very, very simple. All you got to do is you just download it to your PC. You don't unzip the file. Some computers nowadays, they got all these what do you want to call it, these filters, if you will, that you don't download things that are harmful to your computer. And this is a zip file that you're downloading. So it'll say, do you really want to download this? So sometimes you got to like accept it, at the bottom of your screen. And then you don't unzip it. You just import that whole zip file into NinjaTrader 8, and that's it. Okay. Then as far as the licensing goes, for those of you that already have it, I made a simple mistake in the user guide. When your license key is your family name with the and symbol there. So it'd be like Jones, then the and symbol. And make sure you click enable, okay? And then click apply, and then it'll work. Now, the swing filter, this is really the only setting you got to worry about, okay? I mean, there's offset, like how far above or below the bar you want to appear. If you want to use the sound feature, right? Sometimes you're going to hear my computer during this presentation beeping. That's the sound filter. Buy or sell colors, again, you could adjust that. Now, the swing filter is really the only setting that you're going to be making adjustments on a market by market basis. For slower moving markets like bonds, ZB, ultra bonds, 10 years, I suggest the lowest setting, which is 1. For normal moving markets like currencies, ES, I'd suggest a setting of 5 or 10. For the fastest, most volatile markets like DAX, NQ, MNQ, I saw a question, Milton, NQ. And again, this is based off of a 1-minute chart. So what I use for a 1-minute chart is sort of like the starting point that I would use in every market, okay? Because again, some people don't use time-based charts. They use tick-based charts. They use volume-based charts. But this is my starting points, right? So 1 on slow-moving markets, 5 to 10. Again, I'm not gonna say 7, just 5 or 10, right? You can adjust it, what you're comfortable with on how many signals if you start going up in terms of strength, a higher number, the stronger, it's going to give you less signals, right? That's why on volatile markets, because the markets are just too volatile, there's a lot of price discovery going on, you're going to set the settings at a higher number, just because bars cover more real estate, so to speak, going up and down. Now, I had explained really briefly on the bottom panel, right, which is this part here, okay? If you want to see that, you can adjust it in the settings under the visuals here. So you got to select new panel, right? Because right now when it says same as input series, it's just showing it as nothing, right? And it's transparent, the colors, so it's not plotting anything. So you'll have to change the plotting from transparent to blue, and for the buys, and for sells from transparent to red, right? It shows as transparent. Now it's blue for buys, red for sells in a new panel, right? You don't want it to appear on the same panel. You wouldn't be able to read anything on your chart. So by adding those to the bottom of your chart, it just makes it a little bit easier to see, especially if you're using a footprint chart. All right, I just find it a lot easier to see personally. And one thing to realize, again, depending on which footprint software you're using, if you're using mine or you're using volumetric charts from the paid version of NinjaTrader or any other third party, depending on how they draw the candles, you may have to make an adjustment, okay? And I'll show you what I mean, right? If I just put on the normal settings, right? Oftentimes the bar width of the candlestick chart, you may not realize this in your footprint, but this bar width under the data series, right? You can adjust this. If it's set very wide, it'll draw wide candles on Price Scalper. So all you have to do is you just adjust it to a smaller number, 2, right? So you can see in here, it's just right there. Now you can see it's dark red because I have the settings set to dark red under here, right? The sell color is dark red, the buys are blue. That's why the candle is appearing dark red, right? Dark red and blue for bullish ones. I like to have the candles colored, that way I can get a better visual. But really what you got to do is you got to just adjust the bar width down to 2. Otherwise it's going to look very wide like this and you're not going to be able to see your footprint potentially. So just bear that in mind, okay? Now, I'm going to take a look at something really quick. I'm just going to pull up a chart here. Okay, so this is the E-minis. Okay, so I don't have the part on the bottom showing up. Let me get a crosshairs here. Okay, now this is set at 1. Okay, I can see it set at 1 here. What you have to do, right, again, to change the setting, you just open up the indicator, the swing filter right here. Again, you can set it to 5, click apply. You can set it to 10, click apply. That's really the only one you really need to adjust. If you want to put the plotting on the bottom, right, you just go to visuals, same as input series, change that to new panel. Then you're just going to want to change the colors, okay, because transparent, obviously, you're not going to be able to see. So again, where's blue in here? Let's change it to blue and red, okay? So you see right there, okay? So again, you'll also see what it's set at, what your settings are right there. It's dropped it from up here to down here on this panel. Now, one of the ways that when we were creating this indicator, someone asked me, the programmer asked me, do you want to put that filter in there for a trend filter? Like, do you want to take trades when the market is going up or when the market is going down? HMA is a whole moving average, which is a nice filter, but what it does is, let me just make this darker here. Goldenrod's kind of hot. Let's make it black, and I'll make the line a bit heavier to see. And what the trend filter is going to do is, as this market is going down, right, you're going to be trading on the short side if it's going up, right? So you're not going to take this trade. You're not going to take this trade. You're going to be just taking shorts as the markets go down or the market's going up, taking longs. Now, if you're going to use a trend filter, okay, I wouldn't use the settings that I just talked about earlier. I would just keep it at the very lowest one of 1. Okay, and in a minute, right, I'm going to talk about markers and show you how you can set it in. So you just be taking trades when the market is trending down. Now, this is, I just threw this up as HMA 14. You could use, you don't have to use HMA. You could use whatever you want. I know some people love using a 9 EMA. All right, it's up to you. Where's E? Here we are. Hey, there we go. Again, let's make this a color. Make it what's a little bit easier to see. Make it blue. Okay. Some people like to use a 9-period EMA. For whatever, doesn't matter. Depending on how fast a trader you are or what, it's up to you to choose whichever one you want to use. But you can filter this in a tool like markers. Okay. So you could automate that, and that's sort of the next portion that I want to talk about, or the later portion. But again, you always want to be trading in the direction of the trend, right? You don't want to just be following price alone by itself, right? You want to be following the order flow together with price action, right? So imagine, right, you can take out a lot of these losing trades just by following the trend, right? Here's a nice move. You see this market is trending down on both averages. You only need one. You don't need to have both on here. You get a nice move down, right? Just as during the day. And again, this is E-minis. If you're looking at, say, ultra bonds is a nice market. Someone asked me the other day what to recommend for ultra bonds. I recommend just the setting of 1, right? You don't really even need to have any trend filter. I mean, look at this ultra bonds. There's only how many signals today? There's 1 here. I mean, this is a tremendous move, 140 all the way up to almost 142. This one's coming in 139.30. Here's some chop back and forth, but again, this move down, this one would have stopped you out, and this next bar stopped you out. But you can see, right, nice moves you could have, right, on slower moving markets. This is a thing, everyone loves to trade equity indices, NASDAQ, E-minis, because it sounds sexy. No one wants to trade grains or, even bond trading does sound a bit sexy. But these other markets follow order flow and price action really well. The problem with markets like S&Ps, MNQ, NQ is there's a lot of other money involved in there. People that are trading, ultra bonds, even ultra tens, are people that need to trade it, right, for whatever reason. So in my opinion, it's something that follows supply and demand much better than these other markets. Just have a lot of hot money in it, right? Money that's just out there, people are playing around with. I mean, people don't view these other markets, the same way. There's 10-year, this is the ultra 10 years, from this morning. You got a nice move here, a little move up here, move down, a little back and forth in here, back and forth, a little move up. Today was actually a bit more active in the ultra 10 years, but you've seen it just trends beautifully, right? And if you're a trader, right, you want to trade the markets that are just giving you the nice trades day in and day out, right? 10 years, ultra bonds, ultra 10 years, rather, the TN, the ultra bonds, are great contracts for traders to trade. I mean, look at this. This is 2 in the morning. Nice move up, nice move back down, right? So before I get into markers, let me just take a look at a couple of questions here. Someone had asked about Forex. Honestly, I don't follow the Forex markets. I follow the Forex futures, okay? Will it work with Forex? Again, you're better off just trading the futures market rather than the Forex itself, because the data is it's centralized, right? With Forex, data comes from everywhere, right? It comes from different banks. So depending on who your Forex broker is and who they're white labeling their trading platform from, that's where you're getting your quotes from. So like futures, it comes from the exchange. It's centralized, comes from one spot, and then it goes to the data providers. Whereas if you're trading Forex at different brokers, it's coming from all of the different brokers. You're going to different data providers. It's just very disjointed. It's a bit like, well, crypto is like that, only 100 times that level. Keith asks, how many ticks, in your opinion, is considered a scalp? Okay, well, a scalp is basically the shortest amount you could hold a trade, right? I mean, ideally, every trade is going to start out as a scalp, right? Because you don't know if it's going to go or not. It can move, start a nice move, or it can just peter out. I mean, in the old days on the floor, there's the groups, there's the scalpers, they would just hold the trade 3-4 seconds, right? They're buying the bid, they're selling the offer. If someone hit them, okay, they're long. Offer it out, 5 seconds. If they can't get rid of it, they just scratch it. So for me, I'm looking to hold a trade ideally as long as it can go in my favor, but if it's not going in my favor, I'll try and cut it as soon as I can, right? That's part of trading, right? It's not just let the trade go to your take profit or to your stop, right? You got to be adjusting it. You got to adjust your stop. I mean, like yesterday when I was trading, it's like the markets were selling off, and it's like I would just move my stop down into the money. So sometimes, it would bounce up and I'd get stopped out at a profit of just 2 points as opposed to getting out, at my take profit because I moved my stop down, right? If I kept my stop way up there, yeah, I would have gone to my take profit. I mean, everyone's got a different style of trading. So it's really hard to say, what's considered a scalp is basically one tick. But don't think of it as just scalping out one tick. I trade on a very short time frame, 30-second charts. I don't go beyond 5 minutes. I do look at them, but try and keep it your viewpoint as ideally as short as possible to start out, but if after you're in the trade, if things are conducive to you staying in that trade longer, stay in it. The deep blue and deep red candles represent the what do you want to call it, the sort of the signal taking place in the market where things are manifesting of either a buy signal or a sell signal. The up or down arrow or triangle is the actual trade signal. So it won't come in on the actual bar, right? You can see here, it won't signal here. It's waiting for the next bar for it to signal. This is just sort of giving you a heads up. That's why sometimes you see bars like this where things are manifesting, right? It looks potentially bearish, it's deep red, that it's going to sell off, but then it just doesn't confirm it. It's just really more of a visual to sort of say, hey, you know what, things are looking like a potential short here, but that's not the actual signal, right? The signal would be the up or down triangle, the up triangle here, the down triangle here. And again, that coincides with what you're seeing on the bottom, right? Here's the down triangle, right? It coincides with the down tick here, the up triangle here, right? Coincides with this. So you don't see this happening on this bar. This is just telling you, hey, get ready. Things are shaping up for a potential buy or a potential sell. Derek, no, unfortunately, you can't make the triangles larger. Yeah, Marty asked, does the signal plot at the end of the bar? Yes, it does. Philip asks, can a triangle symbol be changed to any other bar type, like a large dot? Oh, you want dots up here? I don't think so. Pretty sure not, because it's just something, you know, I gave him, I said, draw a triangle. If I told him to draw a dot, he would have drawn a dot on it, but it's not adjustable in that sense. If you change any of these plots down here, right, that's going to change what you're seeing down at the bottom here, okay? Like this says solid line, right? That's why you see the solid line down. AD asks, can you touch on the market structure logic you have built in? I am asking this into order flow indicator makes this one's market structure. I didn't say it had market. Did I say it had market structure? And I said price action, not market structure. Stratum, the other indicators got market structure built into it. This is more on price action and order flow. So it's again, it's sort of a combination of bullish or bearish order flow together with bullish or bearish price action. Bala asks a couple questions here. How is this different? He talks about crude oil. How different this indicator compared to Delta Scalper and turns? Well, it's much different. Let me see here. I'll put them both on because again, you don't need to use tick replay on this. I mean, you can have tick replay on and it'll still work. But I know turns. Whoops. I know turns and Delta Scalper need it, so I'll turn on tick replay and Delta Scalper. I'll just leave it at basic. I'll change this to zero just really quick. I didn't run it side by side, but they look at completely different things. So let's see here. This is Price Scalper. So there was one bearish signal here. They both appeared on. Bearish signal came a little bit different. But again, Price Scalper looks at completely different things than the, what do you call it? Delta Scalper. So for example, right, you can see this Price Scalper. I've got it turned on basically at its very lowest setting for Delta Scalper. If I were to sort of put it at sort of the default settings, you're gonna see less signals. It's calculating. So this is sort of the setting that I recommend for most markets to start with. So Delta Scalper, there was potential signal here, right? You see the zone being drawn out, but no actual signal there. So you can see, it's looking at different things. Here is one where they both kicked off at the same time. There's a small move, about 6, 7 ticks. Again, here's one. There's a buy in both of them kicking off right here. But again, they look at very different things. So I'm not surprised to sort of see them not really giving the same signals. Let's see. You'd asked about turns. Turns. Set that at 3. I don't even know how turns is gonna. Whoops, sorry. Thought I had my phone on mute there. Okay, so here's turns in the ultra bonds. Oh, sorry, 10 ultra 10s. There's a buy sell signal here, a buy and a sell signal here. That wasn't an actual signal there on the turns, but you see, they're coming in. There are some. I think it's just more of a coincidence that they're appearing at the same area. Here's one that's appearing at the same time. I don't think it's something that you got to get. You can really, here's one that appeared at the same on the bearish side. Here's a bullish one. Again, it's one of those things where, when you're dealing with the order flow and an order flow indicator, it's looking at something very unique, specific in the order flow, right? So sometimes you're adding different order flow indicators. Yeah, I mean, a bar could have many things happening in the order flow. It could be a bullish power point of control. You could have imbalances. You could have something going on in the delta. You could have, minus development going on. So yeah, a bar could exhibit 3 or 4 different things. Just like using different indicators can appear 3 or 4 different things. If I put enough indicators up on here, I'm sure there'll be some instances where it appears like, I have 4 things going on. That must be something stronger. I don't like to think that way. I just like to think, yeah, what I'm seeing in the market makes perfect sense. Crude oil, let's take a look here at crude oil. Now, I wouldn't use a setting of 1 and 1, or sorry, a setting of 1 on the price scalper unless I was using some sort of filter. Okay, I mean, yeah, here's a nice bearish signal here. 1 is going to give you a lot of signals on a market like crude. It's a little bit volatile. You'd probably want to use something, a little bit higher. Where am I here? 10, right? Let's pull it in here. Go back. Where are we here? So there's a short here, there's a long here, short, short down, up, down. So where we are right now in this market, there's a rally up here, a little push down, but just went sideways. So, I'd use 10. Crude oil sort of falls under like the euro currency and E-minis. James Wilkins. James, I'm gonna make a note. You can. You're asking about sequencing and price action, price scalper swap. Yeah, just shoot me an email and I'll reply to it today. Okay, James. Richard, no, it's not available for TradeStation. Whole speech, what's going on in ES right now? J Powell. Wow. ES 3670. Yeah, I saw, what was it? Goldman Sachs revised their E-mini call, or S&P call rather, from I think it was 4,500 by year end to 3,600. We're not that far off right now. So again, I got this. It's taking a little bit longer because I have tick replay enabled on this chart, but you don't need to use tick replay. You know, there's a short here, long here that just failed. This is a setting of 10. You know, there was a short up here. This is what, 830. Where's 830? This is 830. Some volatility coming on, a long here, a short here, a long back up. It's a little long, a short. You know, overnight had a nice move overnight. I remember waking up this morning and looking at the market and thinking, oh, we're still above 37. Then I got my kids ready for school. Next thing I knew, I was like, send them off to school. It's like 37.20. Like I thought we were just trading 37.40. But you know, there's a short signal here overnight. Overnights, you know, trading is possible overnights. People always wonder, you know, hey, can I trade overnight? You know, there's enough volume. Yeah, there is. In the E-minis, there is. And most contracts actually are okay to trade overnight, but definitely the E-minis. E-minis trade more overnight than some contracts trade during the day. What you're seeing in here, right? Nice move up, nice move down, going on right there. Crude, I showed you crude. Roll, I'm fine. And then can this tool be used to trade unfinished auctions? Well, I don't know how you're trading unfinished auctions. I don't know if I got a. All right, let me add a footprint on here really quick. I don't have a footprint chart on here. Let me just turn off some of this stuff so it's a little easier to read here. Sequencing. Let's turn off some bunch of this stuff here. Actually, I should leave sequencing on. Because, you know, one of the ways that I like to use it is combining it with something in the order flow, okay? Whether it's, you know, a stacked imbalance or a prominent point of control. I love prominent point of controls with this indicator because, you know, prominent point of control indicates stopping volume in the market, okay? And when you have, you know, heavy volume, you know, sort of present there, and you're seeing something happening in the price action, then, you know, it's going to give you a good trade, right? And because that's what you want, right? You want to have, you say, yeah, I know what's happening in the market based off the order flow. I see nice stopping volume there. I see traders stepping up to this level. Now I'm seeing the price action, you know, confirming it, basically telling me, yeah, you know what you're, sorry about this, turn this phone off. Okay, hold on while this chart comes up here. It's just taking a second. Click OK. But, you know, anytime you're looking at anything price related, when you can combine it with order flow, I think it's going to give you a good opportunity. So while that chart's coming up, let's take another question here. So you enter when the bar closes on the bar where the triangle shows up. Yeah, Ricardo. Is this much different from other bots you have sold in the past? Well, this is not a bot. Okay, this is an indicator. An indicator goes to a certain things it's looking for in the order flow to tell you what you're seeing is bullish, what you're seeing is bearish. All right. So when you're seeing bullish, something bullish in the order flow, then it's telling you, hey, you know what? That's the opportunity. This doesn't auto trade for you. Okay. When does it work better with imbalances and other stuff in order flow? Okay, so let's add it on here. So this is a footprint chart. This is my footprint. P's for price scalper here. Okay, I turn that on. So just multiples with that add ampersand there, and Okay, just so it's a little easier to see, I'm going to put it also on the bottom. Blue, red. But yeah, if you have certain things that you look for in the order flow, okay, so if you're not using Orderflows Trader, right, if you're using just a simple order flow footprint chart, right, and there's certain things I'm probably sure you're looking for in the order flow, for example, stack buying imbalance or stack selling imbalance, look for the price scalper to come in. It may not come in on the bar, but you know, if it's coming in on the bar afterwards, to me, that's a legitimate sign. Carlo, no, I don't have that for you over the next 5 bars, you know, following an up and down signal. I don't have that information for you. Maurice, are these signals you're seeing in the order flow? If they are, can I see it on an order flow chart with ratios? Well, this, Maurice, ratios is one thing in the order flow, okay? It's looking at, you know, the ratios that you see on the order flows trader, right? That looks at the order flow in the bar. The price scalper doesn't look at that information. So no, to answer your question, the order flows ratio has nothing to do with the price scalper indicator. All right, so what you're looking for is something different. So for example, here we go. Okay, let's just make this chart a little bit easier to read. Okay, so there was a buy signal here at this is the low, the new low of the day, right? We just made a new low, 60, what is that, 68.5, just pretty recently. This is not a real-time chart. This is a delayed chart because this is my testing PC. So you got a divergence here, right? You got a new low with positive delta, right? Then the next bar, okay, you're getting the, actually in this bar, the information was saying, you know, that's why this bar is colored blue here. It might be a little bit hard to see, saying, hey, you know what, heads up, there's a potential signal here. Then you get your confirmation in the bar afterwards. Let's see here. Let's go back yesterday, because I know yesterday with prominent point of controls or other things in the order flow, where is it here? This was this is sequencing here, okay? So again, if you're using the order flows trader, you're seeing a lot of stuff, right? You're seeing the sequencing here, that's this information, and then price scalper kicking off here, moving up, right? Really, the only signals you're going to take are these up or down bumps, right? This is a bullish one. The red one would be down. Now, this is why I say plot it on the bottom, because otherwise you'd have to offset this triangle here, right? As I have set at 1, that's why it's being overwritten. If I could set it at 2, 3, 4, 5, then it would appear down here. But you don't need to do that if you have this on here, okay? The, where's my chart? You know, in this signal here, there's nothing really interesting in the order flow. Oh, do I have point of controls even turned on here? Okay, I don't even have it turned on. Yeah, I got it turned on there. 3, 3, okay. But let's just make it simple. Okay. Calvin, any recommendations on trading bonds? Yeah, I gave that earlier. Set at 1. Currently trading ES and MES. I'd start with 10. Dow Jones, I'd go with 25. We'll take a look at Dow after this. Well, Echo, does this provide much advantage compared to thoroughly learning to use a footprint chart? I don't say advantage, you know, it's a complement to the footprint chart. I don't think it should replace a footprint chart. I always still use a footprint chart, you know, because you still want to see, you know, how a market can turn very quick. You know, and that's what the value of footprint chart is. It's going to give you that information that the market is changing really quick. You know, that's real-time information. If you're just looking at a bar chart, you don't pick that up, or you don't get the intensity of the buying or selling. Tick replay is not required. It's only required if you're using another indicator with it that requires tick replay. It'll work with both tick replay on or off. Kevin, yeah, I'd start with one in any of the bond complex, you know, whether it's ultra bonds, ZB, the 30-year bonds, 10 years, 5 years. Carlo, yeah, to confirm, it's the bar afterwards. So, for example, okay, here we go. So here's my prominent point of control. Here's my signal, right? So I know already that it's forming in here, that this bar is formed blue, just as I know that there's a potential bearish signal forming here, but it's not confirmed in the next bar. So this is the bar that's going to confirm it. And, you know, so you get long here, boom, you know, 86 and a quarter, it, you know, went all the way up into the mid 90s here, right? I mean, it didn't go eventually higher, but this is one of those trades where, you know, just you get quick 6 points out of the market there. You know, again, here's your bullish point of control. Here's your bullish signal. All right, so anything order flow related, whether it's a prominent point of control, whether it's a stacked imbalance, these are things that I'm always looking for, because we know that not everything in the order flows, even though it's bullish, it can change on you really quick, right? And what was bullish all of a sudden becomes bearish. And you know, when you add another piece to the, you know, another spice to the recipe, so to speak, it just makes things taste better. What is this? I'm just going through some questions here real quick. Pascal. Okay, Pascal. I'm just copying your email because your message there. I see your message, Pascal. I'll take care of it. But yeah, just, I'll take care of it this afternoon. About your second license. What order flow signal does it use? Well, I can't tell you that. What other indicator that you created would work well with it? Well, honestly, I've got a bunch of other indicators. I haven't run through all of them at it, but things like sequencing, tails, depending on the markets, obviously Delta Scalper you saw earlier. It's just one of those things, you know, some of these tools that we have, right, designed. Let me see here. Let's pull up the list. Okay, so for example, like, I mean, people see a lot of indicators here, but trust me, some of these are just testing things. Some of these are just the ones that would probably work with it, things like sequencing, which are basically parts of the order flow. We just had to break it out into a smaller, a separate indicator. You know, market exhaustion probably work well with it. Things like sequencing, tails, tension probably work well. PLC Trader, but PLC Trader is already built into the footprint. Anything that reads order flow should work well. Renko Bart, Heinz, I don't use Renkos. Albert, yeah, I showed you the E-minis earlier. Z-minis now. Again, it's coming off the low of the day here with the divergence. Obviously, you got stacked buying imbalance taking place in here. Got multiple imbalances as well. You know, did the market go up? Nah, kind of. Wasn't a big move, but some, you know, market's been selling off all day. We're 100 points lower than where we were overnight. Dave, thanks. Dave, the other Dave, are you going to show us how to set up? Yep, in a second. For markers, do we need to buy the markers plus? Well, yeah, I'm not sure about that, Waleed. I think you get buy with plus, but I don't know. I'll check with Pablo on that. Every once in a while, Pablo has like a special. We just did, Pablo and I did a training about a couple weeks ago, and he had a special price. So we did it just after Labor Day. He's always got sales, so you can always wait till he puts it on sale. Sometimes it's 20% off, which save you some money. Yeah, Steve, do you look for failure on a signal? Yeah, I mean for a stop. So like this is the signal bar. This is the trigger bar. Stop at a is definitely below. Once if it comes into the low of the signal bar, not the trigger bar. If it's a long, I'd be getting out, right? I don't need it to sell off 20 points, 20 ticks rather. If if we're starting trading below the um, signal bar, that's where I'd be looking to get out. Derek, yeah, if you're going to use a filter on everything, start at 1. Um, well, again, Albert, regarding Uni Renko or Renkos, I don't use Renko or Uni Renko charts at all. So I know Uni Renko is one. There's so many different Uni Renko charts out there. Every vendor's got their own Uni Renko chart. Do the indicators plot in real time on bar close? Yeah, I mean they plot in real time, and once they plot, they won't. They're not supposed to change anymore. Um, James asks, is there someone a Ninja Trader that can help set up order flow on my chart? Well, if you want the Ninja Trader order flow package, you have to buy their license, right? Which I don't know what it's at now. It's like $1,200 or something like that. Every once in a while, I think on Black Friday or on Christmas they put it on sale for $9.99. But then it's just an indicator that will show up in your indicator settings. So for example, like this is not my trading PC. This is just a free version of Ninja Trader, but it has it down in here. What was it? If it was called, it's called volumetric charts or something. It's not under V. Oh, sorry. When if you have the paid version of Ninja Trader, when you open it up, there's be a choice in here. You have volumetric, right? You just choose that. That's how you would set up on the paid version of Ninja Trader under the data series when you open up a chart. Maurice, hey Keith, sure, you're welcome. Maurice asks, at what point will we be able to see Bloodhound see this deltas, max deltas? We do have a new version of Orderflows Trader coming out that makes a lot of this stuff readable. Won't make the max delta, min delta readable, but it'll make a lot of the other things in the order flow, what you're seeing in the footprint, it'll make it readable. Stacked imbalances, slingshots, things like that, prominent point of controls. It'll make that readable by things like markers, etc. This is sequencing here, which provides nice levels for reading. But again, that's soon. Charles Sasser. All right, Charles, I'm going to copy this. I'm going to take a look through my records, see what you got before. And get it out to you. Does it repaint? No, it doesn't. Aren't range charts better with order flow? Why time-based? Well, problem with range-based charts, are they better for order flow? Honestly, on volatile markets, no. You're going to get into trades very late. on, if you're using range-based, let's put this at 9, or sorry, at 8, right? I used to use range-based charts years ago, right? 2013, 2014, 2015, 2016. Markets were a lot slower than they are now. There would be some days where you'd have, a 15-point range all day. That's it. Here you're getting bars that are 15 point, a 1 minute bar that's 15 points already. So, you know, when a market's moving very fast and when you have a lot of volatility in the market, what is volatility? It's just price looking for areas it can, for looking for volume basically where it can transact. So if there's a lot of volatility, you're gonna get a lot of bars very quick. You're gonna find yourself late on trades. You're gonna have signals by the time you act on it. Even if you got a VPN running it automatically, you're not right next to the server. Okay, so you're gonna get these bars where you're trying to react. For example, look at this, right? You got how many bars in a couple of seconds, right? I mean, forget about what happened on. This is what day? This is Wednesday, right? You can see, right? 14:10 in 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 8 seconds. It's markets just dropped very fast. For me personally, I just found using a time-based chart is something that's going to help me manage my trades better, right? Because I put more of a time component into it than sharp moves, right? And again, if I was using I don't know, if I was using a range-based chart, you could really ramp up some of the stuff, quite high. I don't know what it's going to look like, but I don't use range-based charts anymore. Lakeisha, yes, it will be recorded. Well, Amy, there's signals, right? That's why different markets trade have different volatility, so you got to adjust it. You can't use the same signals, the same setting on every market, okay? Because an an 8 range chart on E-minis is going to trade a lot different than say an 8 range chart on obviously bonds, or it's going to trade much differently than an 8 range chart on gold or wheat and things like that. So you got to take that into account. Bala, yeah, you can actually. All you got to do is just reinstall it on your new PC. Yeah, Dave, I'm getting to that in a second here. Okay, guys. Anyway, when this chart comes up, then I'll get into the running markers. Where am I here? With Price Scalper. So I was just waiting for that chart to come up. Yeah, I don't use Bloodhound, so I don't know if it'll work on Bloodhound. I know it works on markers. So to set it up on markers, pretty simple. It's going to take you through the steps. In the user guide, all these steps are in the user guide already. So what you got to do is you open a chart, right? Add markers plus, the force, copy, turn chart trader on, etc. The simple stuff that you should already know. I use markers copy to copy the long signals and short signals generated. So basically, I'll show you here. Let me get up the chart. Where's my chart? Okay, so again, this is that 8 range chart here. But all right, so let's go here. So under the indicator, okay, so you're going to add copy, the force, and this one I've got a WMA on, weighted moving average, 14 period. So again, what you got to do, this one actually I am using fast signals on. You make sure you have the data series, right? So you'd have to go in, choose Price Scalper from here, make sure it appears. You got to enable your license, whatever filter you're using on your chart, make sure you have it same set for buy and sell. This is 3 for the buy. I have this one as a 3 for sell as well. Okay, change calculate on each tick. So again, I have this one fast signal turned on for shorts. This one is fast signal for longs. Under markers the force. Actually, I have it turned off. Why did I do that? Yeah, so it doesn't matter if you have it checked or not. What this is looking for is looking at the copies, the triangles up or triangle down, what's plotting on my screen here. Triangle up, triangle down. So that's just, apologize for that. I was just playing around with it earlier, trying to make some changes. Triangle up, triangle down, the long color, the signals there. Now I have the filters turned on, okay? So what is filtering is this one here, right? You see where it says filter. This is my WMA, and it's condition. This is for markets trending up. Again, all this is explained in the user guide. Markets trending down, okay? And again, this is what's being copied. It's a 14 period WMA right here. And this is just a testing one, but you can see here, right? Longs disabled because the market is starting to trend down. If shorts now says, well, it says shorts enabled because market's trending down. So for example, let's just kill this connection real quick. Let's close down some of these charts. Go back to my playback. Now, going back to the settings, again, it's very simple. It just takes literally, if you're familiar with markers, it should be second nature to you. You should be able to do it in about 2 or 3 minutes. If you're not as familiar with markers, maybe it's going to take you 5, 7 minutes to do, but it's simple things, right? Enable longs, enable shorts, etc. Longs signals, triangle up. It's all, just copy what's on the screenshots here. That's all you have to do, right? And just make sure you have everything set, right? The input series is set the same as the way you like to look at it on your chart. Okay, and you got to set one up. I mean, if you use markers, you got to set one up for the buy, you got to set one up for the sell, right? Because you got to look for buy signals, you got to look for sell signals, right? Make sure you change where it says plot there to buy for the buys, sells for the sells. All right, let's go back here. What's this here? Okay. So again, this is in playback mode already. So you can see I've got the filter on for trades. Well, speed, I'm going at 15 here. Try and speed it up a little bit. Right. Make sure your ATM is the same ATM as in here. Right. Make sure it's on auto mode, filter on. So you see it's only going to take longs if the market is trending up. Right now the market is trending down, so it says longs disabled. Shorts, now shorts are disabled because the market is trending up based off of this WMA that I'm using as a filter. James asked earlier, you mentioned tick replay. If you're, again, sort of just to recap, if you're using a software that requires tick replay, then yeah, you're going to enable tick replay. Price Scalper doesn't require tick replay to work. So you see, okay, so it got in, right? As this market was starting to trend down, right, because I have the filter turned on, it got me short, okay? Again, this is the strategy that I'm using is 8 tick stop, 36 tick take profit. Again, it's up to you. I don't know what everybody uses. During the day, 8 ticks will stop me out a lot, but at nighttime in the evening session, Um, it's I'm comfortable with it. Sometimes I actually prefer to trade in the evening session because one, I don't get any distractions. I don't get the phone ringing at 2 in the morning unless it's like something catastrophic's happening. But I don't get kids running around. I don't get the same distractions that you'd get during the normal day. So again, I'm in this trade already. You can see. Oh, well, that was fast. But I'll just stop it there. Again, I'm just that was a big drop from 81 down to 69. But now you see longs disabled, shorts enabled, okay? Because now the market is trending down, so it's going to take those trades if there's short trades. But anyway, Dave, in the user guide, it's explained out there. It's spelled out just as you're seeing, on this here, right? It's all in there, explained out. I'll touch base with Pablo about the difference between plus and the force, which one you should be using. If you could use the less expensive version with this, I'm not sure, because I got the force. But again, if you're going to use the trend filter, right, this is what you just copy and paste this, right? For longs, it's going to be greater than. For shorts, it's going to be less than, right? So basically meaning the current bar price is less than the previous bar for shorts, or the current price of this bar is higher than the previous price of the previous bar. You bought markers from Apex Investing. Markers should come from the indicator store, Pablo. I don't know what that one is. That maybe Pablo's got to deal with them. If it's markers from the indicator store on the underlying, I'd reach out to Pablo. Just go to what's his website, the indicator store. He's a nice guy. He's very helpful. So if you reach out to them and explain it, then I'm sure he'll do his best to help you out. Just realize he's in a different country, different time zones, and all that. I mean, sometimes I get replies from him in the middle of the night. So just be aware of that. So anyway, yes, Apex markers work. Okay, well, Marty answers your question there. Anyway, guys, it's 2 o'clock. I don't want to keep you guys on any longer. It's Friday, so hopefully you got something useful out of today's thing. And again, sort of the last minute things. Dave, I think I've done some videos on markers. Search my YouTube channel, because Pablo and I just did one recently. So, and I'll be honest, Pablo's a great guy. He's very helpful. But I do know that some people sometimes, I don't have a problem with his accent. I know some people do. It's hard for him. English is not his first language, so sometimes it's a little hard for him to find the right words to explain it. So just be a little bit flexible and work with that. But he's extremely helpful. He's a great guy. He goes that extra yard for you, so to speak. Yeah, it's probably something, Dave. It's probably something really simple. Send him a screenshot, of your settings. Because there's times where I've said, when I was getting started with markers, it's like it wouldn't trade just like that. And he's like, well, it's because you have this setting incorrect. So the more information you give them, sometimes the easier it is. So anyway, guys, I'm not going to keep you guys any longer. John Luke, I don't recall getting your email. If you could send me an email, I'll be on the lookout for it. But if you're interested in Price Scalper, I said, after this weekend, I'm going to put it back in the vault because I got some other stuff coming out. We got our new Orderflows Trader 6 release coming out soon. So I'm getting ready for that. I got to get all the documentation done and stuff like that. So, now's the time, guys. So go to pricescalper.com, and again, any questions, anybody's got any emails they want to get out, shoot them out to me. All right. So have a great weekend, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.